2 minutos ahora, la señora Schaake.
Thank you, Chairman, and High Commissioner. And also want to say a tribute to the colleagues who we work on human rights with. It's a really pleasant collaboration on such an important topic. And there can hardly be a more urgent moment to address Europe's responsibility when it comes to human rights in the world. I just want to stress that we, as members of the European Parliament from all political groups, just launched a written declaration on behalf of the European people to support the Iranian people and their call for human rights. We just met with Nazanin Afshinjan, who is really a human rights leader and focuses on ending child executions. And this is just one of the reminders of the brutal things people do to each other and the practices we really have to stop. The External Action Service will lead to a more effective and coordinated European foreign policy, and human rights deserve ongoing attention in an integrated, comprehensive manner. Unfortunately, we have a sad competition of geographical areas where human rights violations take place, as well as horizontal issues such as women's rights, freedom of expression, that need attention because they are being violated. Iran's regime serves as an example of all these violations. Iran is on our political agendas, but the international community is mainly preoccupied with the nuclear challenge. And as challenging as this is, we cannot allow this to be a zero-sum game versus human rights. Sanctions will be imposed by the UN and the European Union, but I am not necessarily optimistic about the concrete results that these will render. Empowering the population and standing for their rights as autonomously legitimate may also render bottom-up reforms. Domestic opposition thus far seems to move the Iranian regime more than international sanctions, so this is a clear indicator. This week it has been 1 year since the presidential elections took place in Iran, and they marked the beginning of a renewed and brutal crackdown of the regime against its own people. Over the past year, the regime has cut off the minimal freedoms that the population still had and has virtually silenced the opposition. Many have fled, and they could have an opportunity if they could be taken into Europe as human rights defenders and dissidents, because they could be considered an asset in developing our policies and should not just be seen as a threat or a burden. So I would like to encourage you, High Representative.
Su tiempo. Tiene 1 minuto ahora el señor Migalski para su intervención.
Panie Przewodniczący, Szanowni Państwo! Bardzo się cieszę, że pani Ashton została na sali, jest obecna, bo traktuję to jako wyraz zainteresowania.